Let's get to Zoetis this morning. Shares are higher after posting a beat on the top and the bottom line in Q2. Did lower revenue guidance for the fiscal year, reported some softer than expected sales in some segments. Joining us for a closer look at the quarter, a CNBC exclusive, Zoetis CEO Kristin Peck. Kristin, it's great to have you back. I am curious whether the guidance was driven mostly by livestock or the companion business.
Sure. It is great to be back and good to see you, Carl and Sarah, again, especially to share what was a really strong quarter for us, delivering 9% operational revenue growth. And that was really led by the diversity across markets and species of our portfolio. We actually maintained our operational revenue and adjusted net income guidance. You know, the only real updates to guidance were around foreign exchange, which you saw, taking it down a little bit on the revenue. And then it actually was a positive for us on the bottom line for that. But really, we've delivered a really strong first half as we expected, and we're really pleased to confirm our operational revenue and adjusted net income guidance for the year: 6 to 8% revenue growth on the top line and 7 to 9 operational guidance on the bottom line.
The street reaction from the analysts was pretty constructive. They talk a lot about investing in new products, canine pain, for example, some M&A, operating margin improvements. Of those, which do you think is the most important?
Well, look, Zoetis' strength is really led by our innovation. So I would say it's the growth across our key franchises. You're seeing really strong growth continuing for us around parasiticides, around dermatology, which is a market we've been in, obviously, since about 2015, and still seeing double-digit growth of around 14%. Then OA pain, a huge new category for Zoetis. We were in it traditionally with Rimadyl, but we're really excited for the approval in the U.S. Of Librela for dogs for osteoarthritis pain. We earlier launched Silencia, and they've been launched outside the U.S. for a while now. We're seeing tremendous growth potential there and are really excited to see the launch of Librela in the U.S. We'll do early experience in September with a full launch beginning in November and see great growth there, as well as in diagnostics and emerging markets for us.
Kristin, as exciting as the animal meds are today, the story, as you know, in your world is really about this study from Novo Nordisk and the fact that these weight loss drugs showed that they could reduce the risk of heart attack, or stroke with obese people. I mean, that could be a game changer. And I do wonder if that's the kind of study that would make you look at that for animal health as well. Maybe not so much on the obesity front, but on the heart attack and stroke front.
Yeah, we're really focused on cardiology is what you're talking about as a key growth driver. We're looking also at, renal. There's some new franchises that we're really excited that we're investing in. We have really strength, as you've seen before, in monoclonal antibodies. And we think monoclonal antibodies can really deliver in these important areas for us going forward around renal, around cardiology, as well as oncology. So many of the trends you're seeing in human health are really important as well in the animal health space. And we've been a leader in these technologies. So we're really excited for that to drive our growth, in the medium term as well.
All right, so no obesity drugs for dogs anytime soon. I'm curious, Kristin, what you're seeing in China, because you are exposed to that market, and it has been disappointing, the economic data today, the import numbers in particular, and how that's affecting the business.
Yeah, I mean, look, we saw the numbers today down about 14.5%. But we're really a little more focused on the consumer confidence, consumer willingness to pay. We're focusing a lot on, where, labor is right now with really, high unemployment right now in the youth, especially in the cities. And that's obviously affecting consumers' willingness to pay for everything, including veterinary care. And obviously, with consumers saving as much as they are right now, they're not going out as much and spending as much, on, going out and dining, which obviously affects our livestock business. Look, we're watching these uncertainties as we look into the second half of the year. China is the, depending on you look at the quarter or the year, the second or third largest market for us at Zoetis. But we are the leader in China for multinationals. And we're really looking at this as an opportunity to gain market share, to really stick by our customers, make sure we're meeting their needs. We continue to outpace all of our competitors in the market, and we'll be ready when, China does rebound. We know the government is really focused there and improving consumer confidence. And, that'll probably take, a few months before that really, or a few quarters before that takes hold. But we really think we're well positioned for the long-term growth play here in China.
I got to imagine you think the difference between the Chinese consumer mindset and that in the United States is like night and day, at least at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's what caught a lot of people by surprise, Carl, was, we were sort of expecting when COVID lockdown started lifting in Q1, that we'd see a curve very similar to what we saw in the U.S. and in Europe. And to your point, Carl, what we've seen is that the consumer has responded very, very differently in China. And I think that's what caught a little bit by surprise. Maybe it was going to be slower, but we're seeing, obviously a continued reluctance on this part of the consumer. And I think part of that's because, obviously, as their export markets go down, they're really, I think the government's going to have to invest more in the consumer sector there. But I do think that is what surprised a lot of us in the fact that their rebound didn't look like the rest of the world's.
And on pets, Kristin, everyone was worried that we would all go back to work and stop pampering our pets and taking care of them like we did during COVID. It doesn't look like you've seen that.
No, and I think what's really important as we look at our quarter and our performance is that if you look at the 9% growth we had, that was 4% price, obviously in a more inflationary market, but it was 5% volume. It really shows you the resiliency of our industry and the importance of the human-animal bond, that we're driving strong volume growth in our numbers for the first half and for the year.
Yeah, volume's been an issue for at least some consumer goods. Kristin, fascinating quarter. Good look at the global consumer. See you next time. Kristin Peck.
Thanks so much, Carl. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.